Guys, the amazing thing about poetry is that your poems don't have to be necessarily about some concrete events, people, circumstances, or happenings. Poetry is not news, so you're not reporting an event. It's also not fiction where you are, to a certain extent, you are expected to do some sort of straightforward storytelling. In poetry, you have the liberty to write as much as you like about abstract emotions, inanimate objects, um, the most abstract of emotions and feelings which cannot be captured by any other medium. As far as writing is concerned, you can capture those abstract emotions and feelings through poetry. Something as abstract as the magic of sight, the magic of seeing something, or the magic of sound, these sensations upon hearing something, or the sensations of nature, feelings as abstract as happiness. Poets have written poems on these abstract feelings and emotions and these kind of abstract sensations without necessarily having to work their way through a real life story or something like that. So today I'm going to read a poem like that. It's a part of my second poetry collection, I'd Like a Bit of the Moon, published by Red River. The poem is called Sounds, and in this poem I have tried to I have tried to connect sounds, the concept of sounds, with memory. That how, when we hear certain sounds, it evokes different kinds of emotions in us, and how sounds, I believe, are very intuitively and very deeply connected to the concept of memory. And the concept of basically you hear certain kinds of sounds, and whatever happened in your past, it comes tumbling into your consciousness. So sounds are a kind of a trigger. They can be a happy trigger, they can also be a sad trigger, depending on the circumstances, depending on the kind of sounds you're hearing. But sounds are certainly an unconscious trigger for memory, which is something I've tried to capture in this poem. It's called Sounds. Like age-old cave paintings stuck in a time warp, like age-old cave paintings stuck in a time warp. Like characters from storybooks, making and breaking their inbuilt fates, shouting at the top of their voices. Like the wind stuck in the archways of the sky, like the wind stuck in the archways of the sky, murmuring tales of descent, chanting peripheral hymns from texts now lost. Like the colors of people's eyes changing, like the colors of people's eyes changing, all of a sudden when no one is watching. And their faces breaking into water, like the places people traveled to a long time ago, like the places people traveled to a long ago, and went again trying to catch the echoes they made back then. There is no documented history of all this. There is no documented history of all these things people said to each other once upon a time. Sounds are like bullets. Sounds are like bullets. They pierce, or like rain that comes in slow but deliberate. There is no mapping the terrain of sound. There is no mapping the terrain of sound. Thank you.